What's up, Wrestle Scope Nation, and welcome back to the channel, where we bring you the hardest-hitting wrestling news, the most controversial takes, and the stories that WWE doesn't want you talking about. Because trust me, after what I'm about to tell you, you're going to have opinions. All right, so here's the thing that has me absolutely furious right now, and I know it's got you fired up too. Austin Theory, one of the most talented young superstars on the entire WWE roster, a former United States champion, a guy who was hand-picked, personally selected by Vince McMahon himself to be the future of this company, has just been kicked out of the Vision on Friday Night SmackDown. And you want to know the worst part? The part that makes my blood boil? The part that should have every single wrestling fan outraged right now? He was kicked out by Karrion Kross and the Final Testament in the most disrespectful, most humiliating way possible. Hello viewers, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Really let this sink in. Austin Theory joined the Vision with the promise of reaching his full potential. He aligned himself with one of the most dangerous factions in WWE. He bought into the vision that Karrion Kross was selling. He believed that this was his path to greatness. And what did he get in return? Betrayal, humiliation, and a one-way ticket out of the group that was supposed to elevate him to main event status. But here's where it gets even more interesting, and here's why you need to watch this video all the way to the end. Because Austin Theory's future has just been revealed, and it's not what anyone expected. The question everyone's asking right now is, was this the worst decision WWE could have made, or is this actually the beginning of something bigger for Austin Theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think Theory is better off without the Vision, or did WWE just ruin one of the most promising storylines of 2025? All right. Let me take you back a few months because we need to understand how we got here. Austin Theory, for those who might not remember, was positioned as one of WWE's golden boys back in 2022 and 2023. The guy had everything: the look, the athleticism, the charisma, and most importantly, he had Vince McMahon in his corner. Theory was Mr. Money in the Bank. He was the United States champion. He was getting featured in high-profile matches with the biggest names in the industry: John Cena, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins. Theory was mixing it up with the elite. But then something happened. The momentum started to fade. The pushes became less frequent. The big matches dried up, and Theory found himself floating around the mid-card without a clear direction. Enter the Vision. When Karrion Kross started recruiting members for his faction, the Final Testament, it seemed like the perfect opportunity for Theory to reinvent himself. Kross has this ability to take talented superstars and give them purpose. He gives them direction. He gives them a vision, hence the name. And for Austin Theory, this seemed like the lifeline he desperately needed. The initial weeks were promising. Theory looked more aggressive, more focused, more dangerous than he had in months. He was standing side by side with Karrion Kross, AOP, and Scarlett, and it genuinely looked like this was the beginning of Theory's ascension back to the top of WWE. But here's where things started to get complicated. Theory never seemed to fully commit to the group's ideology. While the other members of the Final Testament were all in on Kross's vision of dominance and control, Theory always seemed like he was holding something back. There was hesitation, there was doubt, and in a group like the Vision, doubt is weakness. Over the past several weeks on SmackDown, we've seen the tension building. Kross would give orders, and Theory would question them. The group would execute a plan, and Theory would hesitate. It was like watching a ticking time bomb just waiting to explode. And this past Friday on SmackDown, boom, the bomb finally went off. Let me walk you through exactly what happened on SmackDown, because this segment was loaded with implications for Theory's future. The show opened with the Vision in the ring. Karrion Kross had the microphone, and he was doing what he does best, cutting an intense psychological promo about power, control, and the future of WWE. The crowd was eating it up, and the Final Testament looked dominant standing in that ring. But then Kross turned his attention to Austin Theory. The tone shifted immediately. You could feel the tension in the arena. Kross talked about commitment, about loyalty, about what it means to truly believe in the Vision, and with every word he kept staring directly at Theory. Then came the ultimatum. Kross told Theory that he needed to prove his loyalty once and for all. He needed to show everyone watching that he was all in on the Vision. No hesitation, no doubts, no questions asked. And to prove it, Kross demanded that Theory attack a returning babyface superstar who had just walked out onto the stage. Now here's where it gets intense.
Theory grabbed the microphone and actually challenged Cross. He told Cross that he didn't join the Vision to be someone's puppet. He didn't align with the Final Testament to take orders without questions. He joined because he thought Cross actually saw something in him. He thought this was about mutual respect and elevating each other. The crowd went crazy because for the first time in months, Austin Theory showed real fire. He showed the personality and the confidence that made him a star in the first place. But Karrion Kross, he didn't like that response one bit. Kross stepped forward, got right in Theory's face, and delivered one of the most chilling lines I've heard on WWE television in a while. He said, "Austin, if you're not with the Vision, then you're against it, and we eliminate anything that stands against us." What happened next was brutal. The Authors of Pain grabbed Theory from behind, Scarlett distracted the referee, and Karrion Kross delivered a devastating cross-jacket submission hold right in the center of the ring. Theory tried to fight out of it, but he was outnumbered and overpowered. The beating continued outside the ring. AOP threw Theory into the steel steps. Kross hit him with the final prayer on the ramp, and to add insult to injury, Scarlett literally stood over Theory's fallen body and laughed as the Vision's music hit and they walked back up the ramp. The message was clear. Austin Theory was out of the Vision, and the Final Testament wanted to make an example out of him. But here's what makes this even more interesting. As Theory was being helped to the back by WWE officials and medical personnel, the cameras caught something fascinating. Theory looked absolutely furious, not defeated, not broken, not devastated. Furious. And that look in his eyes, that's the look of a man who's about to go on an absolute warpath. Now, let's talk about what this means for Austin Theory's future, because according to multiple reports from backstage sources and insider information, WWE has big plans for Theory moving forward. And I'm about to reveal what those plans are. First off, let's address the obvious question everyone's asking. Is this burial? Did WWE just kill Austin Theory's momentum again? Absolutely not, and here's why. According to reports from backstage at SmackDown, this split from the Vision was always the plan. This wasn't a last-minute decision. This wasn't creative scrambling to figure out what to do with Theory. This was a calculated move designed to accomplish something very specific. WWE wants to turn Austin Theory into a sympathetic babyface. Think about it. For the past year, Theory has been positioned as either a cocky heel or a directionless mid-carder. The WWE Universe hasn't really had a reason to connect with him on an emotional level. But now Theory is the guy who got betrayed by the group he trusted. He's the underdog who stood up to a bully and paid the price. This is classic wrestling storytelling, and it works. But here's where it gets even more interesting. According to insider reports, WWE is planning a massive redemption arc for Austin Theory over the next several months. They want to build him back up as a credible threat, give him meaningful feuds with top-tier talent, and eventually position him for a major championship opportunity. Let me break down the roadmap that WWE reportedly has planned for Theory. Phase 1, the Revenge Tour. Over the next few weeks, we're going to see Austin Theory go absolutely ballistic on the Vision. This isn't going to be a one-and-done feud. WWE wants to stretch this out and really tell a compelling story of Theory trying to take down the Final Testament one member at a time. We're likely going to see Theory cost the Vision important matches. We're going to see him attack members of the group during their segments. We're going to see him become an obsessed man on a mission to destroy everything Karrion Kross has built. This kind of storytelling is what creates stars. When fans see a wrestler fighting against all odds, refusing to stay down, and showing that kind of intensity and passion, they get invested. Phase 2, proving himself. After the initial revenge phase, WWE wants to shift Theory's focus toward proving he belongs in the main event picture. This means high-profile matches with established stars, winning feuds convincingly, and showing character growth and development. We're talking potential programs with guys like LA Knight, Apollo Crews, Andrade, and possibly even some upper mid-card heels who need a strong babyface to work with. These are the kinds of feuds that can elevate Theory and remind everyone why he was so highly regarded in the first place. But here's the really exciting part. Phase 3, Championship Gold. According to backstage reports, WWE sees Austin Theory as a future world champion. Not just United States champion again, not just Intercontinental champion, but WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. That's a big jump. How is Theory going to get from where he is now to challenging for the world title? And you're right to be skeptical, but WWE has a plan. The roadmap reportedly involves Theory working his way through the ranks, earning victories over increasingly credible opponents, and building momentum over the course of 2025, leading into a potential championship opportunity at one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Some backstage sources are even suggesting that Theory could be in line for a Money in the Bank briefcase again, which would give him a direct path to the championship without having to go through a traditional build. Phase 4, the character evolution. But perhaps the most important aspect of Theory's future isn't about championships or feuds, it's about character. WWE reportedly wants Austin Theory to undergo a complete character evolution. Gone is the cocky, selfie-obsessed heel who was just a clone of a younger version of another wrestler. Gone is the directionless mid-carder who didn't know what he was supposed to be. The new Austin Theory is going to be focused, intense, and driven. He's someone who learned hard lessons from his time in the Vision. He's someone who understands that you can't trust anyone in WWE except yourself. He's someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to reach the top. This is the kind of character work that creates long-term stars. When a wrestler has clear motivations, understandable goals, and a compelling reason for everything they do, fans connect with that. Phase 6, the bigger picture. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. because Austin Theory's exit from the Vision isn't happening in a vacuum. This is part of WWE's larger strategy for building the next generation of superstars. If you look at the current WWE landscape, there's been a clear emphasis on creating new stars while also utilizing established veterans. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. These guys are the top of the card, and rightfully so, but WWE knows they need to be constantly building the future. Austin Theory is only 27 years old. Let that sink in. He's 27 years old and has already accomplished more than most wrestlers do in their entire careers. He's got years ahead of him to become one of the biggest stars in the industry, and WWE clearly sees that potential. But here's what WWE learned from previous attempts to push younger talent. You can't just tell fans someone is a star. You have to let them prove it. Remember when Theory was getting pushed as Vince McMahon's chosen one? Fans rejected it because it felt forced. It felt like Theory was getting opportunities he hadn't earned. The reactions were mixed at best and downright hostile at worst. WWE learned from that mistake. Now, they're taking a different approach. They're putting Theory through adversity. They're making him earn everything. They're creating situations where fans will naturally want to support him because they've seen him struggle, fight, and overcome. This is smart booking. This is how you create organic baby faces that fans genuinely connect with. But there's another layer to this story that we need to talk about. The Vision's role in all of this. Karrion Kross and the Final Testament aren't just